What's up, lucky gamers with Lucky Luck? So, a lot of people have been asking me to make this video about the Psychubes. Which ones, Lucky, do you think you should be using your gluttonies for? It's a very good question, and I need to answer it because I haven't really made a video on it. Like, I've talked about it in stream, but not everybody like watches the videos and joins the stream. So, let's go ahead and get into this one. I'm gonna make this for DPS. So it's gonna be DPS Psychubes. Because others are kind of good where they're and we're going to be using the ones that are in 1.2. The 1.31, I could tell you that's not one I would use for Gluttony, the Crowd of the Heart, because that's for a very specific character, right? But Blasphemous Knight, limited, mainly for the poison team with like Jessica, or unless you know all your negative statuses and you can keep the uptime of it. Great. Because like if you're gonna be a Jessica, also I'm gonna make this into a separate video, but if you're gonna be a Jessica user not using Sylvie, don't level up your Blasphemous Knight. Don't even put Blasphemous Knight on your Jessica, right? That's just kind of something to say right there. So because it's limited and it's hard for people to keep the uptime of it, it's not gonna be one that I would say level up. Brave New World. Brave New World is kind of like just a it's like you just throw on people, right? So like once it's like leveled, where it's at like a level 1, I just throw it on people just to give them a Psychube and be like, oh hey, when you ult, your next skill will get some extra damage. But it's not really one that like I'm specifically using because like I don't have a lot of the characters who like it like really leveled up, right? Like the Regulus and Charlies that people like use this Psychube for. I don't really use them. So Brave New World like isn't leveled for them. Plus, like you go from like 20% to 40% incantation might, and like well that's cool, but like I don't really see it being a like huge thing, honestly, right? And that's just my opinion. Not that I'm saying Brave New World is bad. It's becoming more of just like a straight up just universal, like, yeah, just throw this on the unit, right? Like I haven't really just been like, wow, I need Brave New World. And that's just where my account is. His Bound and Duty, leave where it's at. Great stat stick, but you really don't need it. Unless like, somebody's like, oh, I always use my unit to solo. Like, no. It's really good where it's at. Stat stick. You don't need to you don't need to upgrade it for sure. Now Hopscotch. Hopscotch is a good contender of a Psychube to upgrade because where I think a lot of people on global kind of was like, well, this says you have to defeat units. There could be stages where you don't have a lot of units to defeat. There is actually many stages where there's enemies that you could stack this on. Even if you can't get 4 stacks, you can get 3 stacks and still get 24% ult might, right? This Psychube is good. It's good for raids because there's multiple bars that you have to clear for raids in case something you didn't know. And there's ads with every single boss except for one. There's only one boss that doesn't have ads. Yes, it's true. There's only one boss that doesn't have ads, so you can do this. Limbo, this is a great Psychube for your hard stages. Utu, this can be used a lot. So this is a great one to upgrade, and it works for single target and AoE characters, right? So this is probably for my account because I saw some single target users. It's not going to be my first choice, but in terms of a DPS one that I would upgrade, it would be a huge contender for like the second Psychube I'd level up. But for a lot of you, it'd probably be the first. And that's because like I have like a lot of characters that can benefit from like Luxurious Leisure, right? But Hopscotch is very good. If you're wanting just a Psychube you can throw on people and have it leveled up and do a lot of damage, right? Like if you're not too min-maxing and stuff, Hopscotch is really good because you're getting Incantation Might and Ult Might. You're getting both of them out of it. And all you have to do is just take out units with your DPS. That's it. You just have to finish the units with your DPS. So that's where, you do have to pay attention to that and take them out with the DPS. But typically you're doing that anyways. right? Luxurious Leisure. A lot of people have been asking me about this one. Like, hey, look, what do you think about this one? Yeah. This one is going to be the one I level up next because I have Melania that I use a lot who could use this. Black Dwarf in the future when I grab her. She can use this. Pickles be using this when I have him paired with like Eternity and Mineral content. Bjorn Bloom can use this. My Satsuki can use this. I have a lot of single target users that can use this. And the ult might, and then there's like the damage dealt is really good because it's just really solid single targets here, and especially ones that like aren't invested into crit and stuff like that. I like it a lot, right? So, like I said, Hopscotch is a good one, especially if you have AOE heavy characters. If you have a single target heavy account, you have to know your account though. But if you have a single target heavy account, then you can use this. Lilia can use this as well. I almost forgot about Lilia, right? So you have to think about that. I think does Voyager have a single target ult? I believe so. I only use Voyager like once. Thunderous Applause. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about Thunderous Applause. And I think like definitely for like min-maxers and everybody, everyone's convinced that Thunderous Applause is one of the worst Psychubes, right? Because it just doesn't give you good enough stats, and its crit rate and crit damage isn't really good for you. Look, if you're completing content with your Thunderous, right, and you have no problems with it, and your DPS, you are constantly using it for your single target crit character, then go ahead, right? If you're throwing it on your Lilia, you're throwing it on your Melania, or you're going to put it on like pretty much every DPS because you're just looking at this like crit damage that you have and this crit rate, and you see the value in it, then go ahead, King, right? Statistically, Luxurious Leisure, though, is typically better. Not typically. It is better. So is like most of these. Most of these Psychubes will perform you more with Thunderous Applause. But if you're at a level like if you're not really maximizing like your resonance, right, and you don't have your crit rate at a high rate to where you feel like you can take off this Thunderous and you can still crit, then I totally get it, right? A lot of people, when they're building their crit character, they don't want to see them miss crits, especially if they have a Psychube who can give them a big boost in crit rate and then also give them some crit damage, right? And then, like, a lot of people see the I3 for Lilia, they're like, okay, well, then what am I going to use on Lilia? Because her Psychube says it doubles the crit rate of a crit Psychube. And it's like, this is the only one. So I totally get it. Totally get it. If you want to level it up. But like I said, if you can get the crit rate up without the Psychube, right, to be very high, then don't use the Psychube. If your resonance isn't perfect, if your character isn't fully invested, or you're using a non-crit character and you really want them to be a crit character, then go ahead, right? Go ahead and get this extra crit damage if they're a single target attacker. But I prefer Luxurious Leisure because like even if they're not critting all the time, they're still hitting really hard, right? But again, all up to preference. Some people like free crit stats. So, but like I said, my biggest contenders is going to be Hopscotch and Luxurious Leisure. I think they're really good. Some people are really convinced on Brave New World, but I think it can just be stayed where it's at. Blasphemer on Night, it's too limited. Don't do it. Is Bound in Duty, perfect where it's at. Their Second Life, for those of you who are using your Eternities, leave it where it's at. Please don't upgrade this one to get the better heal. Don't do it. Other than that, none of them are out. Ink Ride of the Heart is super specific, right? So I think this is good enough for me. If you have any disagreements with me, please let me know down in the comment section. I will look at them and reply to them, right? If you like the video, please like the video if you found it very helpful to you. And sub up to the channel if you guys want more R99 content. We try to stream it every day. So click the bell, that way you guys know I go live. We play CN and Global, right? Haven't played as much Global because like there's just not as much going on, but we do play Global. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You lucky gamers, have a good one. Lucky Lucks out.